Good morning again, and welcome to the second segment of my presentation. I call it $10 Millionaire. I'm at the St. Mary's campus in South Bend, in Indiana, and my name is Mark Bradford. And we'll just move on here a little bit. I'm going to just tell you the $1 million formula just using this $10. Okay, if you set aside $10 a day, you only have to do it for 40 years. Somebody in this class, I think I said, I asked them what was old, and they said it was 30. Who said that? I'm forever not happy about that. But set aside for 40 years and invest an average around 8%. That's all you got to do. It's just a habit, folks. And you can do it. Nearly anybody can do it. Whose money is it? It's my money. And when I have the money in my pocket, I have the ability to do anything I want to with it. Okay? I'm choosing to invest in my future. And this is all you got to do, $10 a day. Easy to say. It's also easy to do. You just got to decide to do it. Do you want to be that person that worries about money when they're 60? Or do you want to be that person that's able to sprinkle the world with love? Hand out things like I do, things like I'll tip a waitress $50 on a $10 meal. It's fun. It's an absolute riot. I spend money on goofy stuff, but you know why? I've already put my $10 away. And as I rolled on, I built up other cash reserves. That's what'll happen to you guys too. And all of a sudden you start spending money on anything you want to spend it on. Trips, we don't care. We just spend money on our trips. It's so cool. Easy to do. You just got to decide to do it. And then you have to develop the habits. I'm going to tell you what the habits are. And most importantly, you got to stay with the program. They're especially around age 30, 35, after you've been in the program for 10 years, you're going to have about $50,000 or $60,000 saved up, and you're going to want to spend it. You can't do it. You can accumulate money other ways, and that's what millionaires do. They accumulate money in more ways than one. But you're going to have to say, no, this is money I'm putting away. Stay with the program. So let's take a look at your $10. The one you're holding in your hand right now, several of your options. Here you go. And we'll go through each of the options very quickly in about 3 or 4 minutes. One, you can spend the $10. We talked about the coffee in the first segment. What happens when you drink coffee? Hour and a half later, it's gone down the drain, right? Somebody else has your $10. So if you spend the $10, we'll talk about the results of that as it affects 40 years from now. You can put it in your checking account or in a jar at home. That's a real good thing. Some people put their money in a jar at home because it's safe. Nobody's ever going to come get it. Number 3, you can put it in a savings account, put it in a certificate of deposit, invest it in bonds, or number 6, you can invest it in the stock market. These are the 6 that I'm talking about. There are lots of other investments out there, but these are the 6 that I'm going to talk about. Okay? Option 1, spend it. Drink your coffee, eat your donut, whatever it is. Your money is gone. You've car payment, whatever. You don't have the money to save. It gone. Got 0 money. And someone else gets a down payment on their yacht. Now that should tick you off. I mean, I don't want a yacht. I'm glad I don't have a yacht. Yachts are a pain in the neck. But some people like yachts. But I don't want them taking my money and putting it on their yacht. So whenever I think about spending excess money now, I go, I think this guy's got a yacht. So if you spend it, you got nothing. Now, we all know people who are at age 60 to have nothing. We all know those people, right? That's because they didn't spend they didn't wisely invest their $10 a day. It's only $10 a day. Number 2, put it in a checking account or in a jar around your house. Meaning, put it somewhere where your rate of return is basically 0. Meaning, you aren't investing it, you're just keeping it. Instead of throwing it away with coffee, now at least you're putting it away somewhere. Put it in a jar, put a checking account, where there's no interest earned. At the end of 40 years, you're going to have $134,400. Better than nothing, right? But millionaires don't think like that. Millionaires think, how can I have other people make money for me? Get it? How can I have other people make money for me? Well, let's see. Well, first, I don't put it in a jar. $134,000, that's okay. But I'm going to show you I can make a lot more. Okay, let's put it in a savings account. Banks love it when you put in a savings account. They love people who put money in a savings account. Right now, savings account rates, I think I'm being nice, are about 0.75% return. 0.75% return. Now, this is what you got to think. Okay, I'm going to give my money to the bank for 0.75% return. What are they going to do with it? They're going to loan it right back to you for a car loan at 7 or 8%. They're taking your money at 1%, 0.75, and they're loaning it back to other people at 8%. What a racket. Now, are you going to let them do that? It's a safe investment. I think savings accounts belong somewhere. But at the end of 40 years, if you're only getting 0.75% return, you got to earn $156,000. That's a growth of $22,378. Over 40 years, you only gained $22,000. Why do you think banks like savings accounts? There's your numbers, 7% versus 1%. You can invest in a CD. A CD is a thing where you say to the bank, well, here, I'll give you my money, and I promise I won't bring it out. I won't get it back for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. You're basically giving it to the bank. And they pay an average round of 2%. Actually, it's less than that. I'm being nice to the banks today. But they take that money, and at the end of 40 years, if they pay you 2%, you've got $206,000, a gain of $71,000. Meanwhile, the bank's been loaning out that money at 7% too. They're making money off of whose money is it? My money. They're making money off of your money. Now, banks are safe. Don't get me wrong. There's a place and time for banks. There's a place and time for CDs. But that's not how millionaires think. Option 5, you can invest in some kind of bond. A bond is where, like, let's say St. Mary's is building another building like this, and they need a little bit of money. What they'll do is they'll send out a bond. And they'll say, we will pay you 4% return. I'm saying 4% yield now. If you give us the money today, we'll pay you out over a period of 7 years, 4% return. And at 4% yield, over 40 years, you're going to have $332,000 versus a gain of $197,000. Now we're talking here. Not bad. But it ain't $1 million either. How much do you guys want? $1 million, right? That's the point of this speech. Here we go. Option 6, invest in the stock market. Well, the stock market over the last 70 years has averaged about 10% return. 10% return. It's 10% interest. That's the key phrase. They average returning to you 10%. Now, I don't believe that. I think that's mush-mosh with a bunch of numbers, but I'm going to use 8.1% for our formula, and I think 8.1% is certainly havable. If you listen to other people, they average 12%. Some people average 15%. But I'm going to be safe and go 8.1%. Over 40 years, you're going to have $1 million, $1,100,000, whatever that number is, and your gain is going to be, look at that gain. How much did you invest? 140? You only put $140,000 in. Every week, $70. Every day, $10. Every week, you're putting $70 in. Every day, you're saving $10. You're putting it in the stock market. $878,000 for doing what? Nothing. Taking a little risk, but you haven't lifted one pinky finger other than to make sure that you're depositing the money into your investment account. 10 bucks a day, every day. 70 bucks a week, every week. Habitual. Quit drinking Coca-Cola. Don't buy a car you can't afford. Don't buy Starbucks if you're into Starbucks. That's how you save your 10 bucks. That's how you do it. And at the end, when you're 60 years old, your kid wants to borrow $100,000 from you to buy a house. Guess what? You do it. If they're nice to you. That's the way they do it. Save 10 bucks. Up. The same $10. Question is, whose money is it? We made the decision to get the $1 million. We have it. It worked. Thank you very much.